Good Shabbos. We are all reeling from the events of the last week. And one of the questions my children have been asking me is, where's God? How could God allow this? You know, a foundational principle of Chassidus is there's no place devoid of Hashem. He's everywhere. And without him, things couldn't exist. Well, if that's the case, how do we imagine a God that allows, enables the barbarity, the cruelty that we just saw? Let me share with you a talk the Rebbe gave in 1983, Parshas Shmois, Tavshin Mem Gimel, 1983. The Rebbe then spoke about when Moshe Rabbeinu was called upon by God to go and release the Jewish people from Egypt. And Moshe was debating with Hashem and saying, well, I can't speak well, send someone else. What am I going to say to Pharaoh? But one of the things Moshe Rabbeinu said and had a discussion with God is, they will ask me, I will come to the Jewish people and they'll ask me, what is his name? What will I say to them? And then I'm asked, what kind of question is this? What exactly was he saying? What do you mean, what is his name? They knew his name. He revealed himself to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. He called himself Hashem. He called himself Elokim. He called himself Adonai. I mean, they should have known his name if they knew about his relationship with their forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, which they would have. They were the ones who would have told him that eventually Hashem is going to redeem them. So what does it mean that he's asking, what is his name? And to summarize what the Rebbe said, was that when the Jewish people are suffering in Egypt, they're there for 210 years. They're suffering incredibly for 86 years. And Moshe Rabbeinu comes along and says, Hashem has sent me. The Jewish people ask him, what is his name? In other words, is his name Hashem, one of kindness, compassion? How did he allow this to happen to us? How does he allow Pharaoh to make decrees that every son should throw into the Nile? How could he allow Jewish children to be butchered and the Pharaoh to bathe in their blood? What's his name? What kind of God is this? And we echo those sentiments. How could God allow the butchery, the rape, the torture, the murder that we have seen? How? Mashmoi, what's his name? What kind of name is this? And, you know, especially when we're in exile in Israel, in Eretz Yisrael, Palterin Shalmelech. Israel is the palace of the king. There's no greater exile than when in the palace of the king in Israel this happens. When the exile comes to Israel, it's more exile than outside of Israel. How do you allow that? Hashem says to Moshe, Ehyeh asher ehyeh. Go tell the Jewish people. Ehyeh shlachani aleichem. What's Ehyeh? Rashi says, I am with them. I am with them now, and I will always be with them. What kind of answer is that? First of all, Hashem is saying to the Jewish people, B'chol tzareisom lo yitzar. In all their suffering, I am suffering too. It's not like I'm above and I see their pain, but I understand things differently. No. You should know that when you suffer, I suffer. And when you're in pain, I'm in pain. That's what Hashem says to the Jewish people. I am with you fully and completely. And therefore, because I don't want to be in the state, I'm going to take you out of this exile. I will take you out of the situation. You will be redeemed. And that's why Moshe came to the Jewish people. We will be redeemed. There's the one condition. And that is, Vayizaku. They cried out. They call out and cry out to Hashem. Take us out of this mess. Take us out of this gullus. And so, the idea that Hashem is with us, how does that resonate? How does that help? Okay, so you're telling me you're with us in this terrible pain? How does that help? I'd like to give the following possible example. You take a toddler to the doctor. The doctor has to inoculate against many diseases. And the doctor takes out this big needle. And the toddler sees that needle, and he's scared of that needle. And the doctor now is going to stick the needle into the child's arm or leg or wherever. And the child is moving. He's afraid of the needle. He doesn't want it. And the mother's there with the child. And the mother's holding the child down so that the doctor could put the needle into the child. Wow. This person, who the child has always put their faith and trust in, the one who's always going to protect him, is now holding him back, allowing the doctor to put this needle, this thing that's going to hurt me so terribly? And the world of the child becomes extremely confused. How could this possibly be? And after the needle, there might be this glance from the child unto the mother, a painful, confused glance. A glance that says, how could you allow this? I trusted in you. And after that, what does the child need most? The child needs the embrace of the mother. It needs the mother's embrace. Nothing else will do but feeling the love and closeness of their mother. Even after we got the needle, no, I'm not likening this to an inoculation. We cannot fathom or understand why this could happen. We cannot justify why this happens. All the negativity and all the bad actions that we might have had does not justify this. But still, we want to feel God's embrace. And I'm telling you, we have God's embrace. You know how I know? Because we have embraced each other in the most incredible way. And God is the third party embracing us now in this time. And we know we will be victorious. We will be successful. And ultimately, our cries to Hashem will be answered. Will be answered with victory over these Hamas murderers. Will be answered with ultimately the incredible revelation of Hashem. Hashem will be revealed to us with the coming of Mashiach. And so what we need to focus on now is understanding that Hashem is with us regardless, that we have Him, that we have each other, that we can embrace each other, we should embrace each other, do things for one another, practically and spiritually. The Rebbe has called for Jews around the world to do things for our brethren in Israel who are in harm's way, who are in danger. And every time you put on tefillin, that will help a soldier in Israel. And every time you light Shabbos candles, you'll bring light into the life of soldiers in Israel. And when you give charity, besides the practical application of that, those charities helping the people there, the spiritual energy that you create through it, the love that is expressed through it, will help them there as well. And many other such mitzvahs. And we'll be enumerating them as the weeks go along. That's what we can do. You know, someone said beautifully, all Jews have now been called to reserve duty. There are those who are in the Air Force, and there are those who are in the Navy, and those who are in the infantry, and there are those whose role is to be in the battalion of Shabbos candle lighting, and there are those who are in the battalion of tefillin laying, and there are those in the battalion of charity giving. And some of us could be in many of these battalions. But each one of us is called to serve. And we are sure that when we do serve, Hashem will answer our prayers. Hashem will respond to our cries. And Hashem will send us Mashiach, the Moshe of our time, to redeem us, to bring the goodness and the glory for Am Yisrael in a way that V'ro Kalama Ya'aretz, the nations of the world will see that the name of Hashem is upon us and they will fear us. Shabbos.